What's up, gamers? Metallic Rock back again with the Week 8 recap. Last week we were up to 2930 and we were looking to get the last little bit of score for 3K that we need. I actually opened this vault on Tuesday and I was very torn between a Myth tier slot or a Myth Blood Oath Signet. So torn that I actually won't end up picking until Friday. Mostly because I was playing Classic. But I got to 60 in Classic, and there's still a little grinding to do there, but I'll probably be able to slow down playing Classic a little bit soon, and can maybe shift my focus to retail again. So let's cut to when I take my item, and I actually do end up going with the ring. I really wanted to replace Circe's Circlet just because it kind of felt nice to replace, and the chance that I get a Myth Blood Oath Signet specifically in my vault is much lower than the chance that I get any Myth Pants in my vault that I can catalyze. So for me, the ring was the way less likely thing to see, and thus the better pull. Now last week, we only needed one more key to cap off Resilient 12s that we didn't get to, and that was Cinder Brew. So we went ahead and we joined a lone DK DPS on his 12 Cinder Brew key, and this guy proceeds to put together the most insane group of 3 DKs. 12 Cinder Brew was actually one that I was a little more worried about doing than other keys. I actually end up dying in the B-Wing to the final stings going off once. I did notice and didn't use a stop. A little unfortunate. That didn't really matter. Moved through IPA's wing. You know, we even had, I don't know how this happened, with a Demon Hunter, a Shaman, and 3 DKs, but in the IPA fight, one slime actually touched IPA, but they're all DKs, so they all lived, nobody died, and yeah, the key was otherwise very smooth, and DKs just do so much damage. You can see we're finishing up the key with a 2+, and not even like a barely 2+, there's still a good amount of time there, so that's going to go ahead and get me, you can see the little panda with the quest there, Resilient Keys and 44 score. 2975, we only have 25 score to go before we're officially at 3K. That should be pretty easy to get. But before that, you know, we're going to go ahead and turn in our quest to pick up our Resilient Keys. This means that our key cannot fall below a 12 now. It basically just means that homework keys are free. If you want a pug to push your key up to a 13, you don't have to worry about it depleting or anything. After that, we jumped into a 13 workshop. This could be one of the last 2 to 3 keys that I need in order to get 3K. Talked to the group before and they wanted to go with pulling the entire room and lusting. I think this is a good strategy, but you really have to have your stops on point. You have to nuke the bombs down. You can see a bunch of them casting there. Nova, Ursul's comes out. Damage is going out. This is mostly a pug, only the DK is pre-made. Everybody's alive, everybody's pumping. Things are mostly still grouped up, but you can see right there, detonate goes off and the entire group gets wiped. Despite that, it honestly wasn't too bad. In 12s and 13s, you can afford a couple deaths. It definitely isn't ideal, but we go ahead and finish the pull-up, and then we can move on to the first boss. We beat the first boss, moved through the slime area with nothing too interesting happening. Everybody was kind of locked in. We had Cujo halfway dead before, unfortunately, and for the first time in the season, a leap went out, the healer backs up into the box, and yeah, the key is probably done right there after the first group wipe. I dropped Darkness to try to live. Everybody runs behind the box, but it's doomed. DK lives 1 tick, Monk lives 1 tick, but the whole group is dead and we're gonna go ahead and reset. I actually didn't play retail again until Sunday because I was busy doing classic stuff, but when we did come back on Sunday, we had nearly a full group and we split this first pull up into 2 with Lust. And yeah, I mean, there's really not going to be much to talk about here. Obviously, it's only a 13. I'm sure everybody is making lots of mistakes constantly, but we're a 4 stack now, and we're kind of just going to blast through this key, get through the first few pulls, then we're going to go through the slime area, deal with the dog, move through the robots, and then at the end, we actually do the skip. We kind of debated it for a second because we had one random and we weren't sure if it was worth it, but I actually think it was. I think skipping this saves something like 5 minutes, just because these two packs are so bad, and you kind of really don't want to fight them together, but the skip worked out, and then we were able to finish up King Mechagon, where we got 19 score for doing this key, putting us at 2994, only 6 score away from 3K. And so we stepped into 13 Dark Flame Clef, which should be a pretty easy dungeon. They buffed the third boss, as in made him harder, but then nerfed him a little bit right after, kind of averaging out, and you can see here the application of what we talked about last week of doing this pull better by pulling the casters back, and it is working. The casters get pulled back pretty quickly, letting me grip them up, and then we can start using all of our AoE stops on them. Just makes this beginning a little bit smooth. We catch a couple deaths on the way to the third boss, just 6, due to like bolts in the first area and stuff like that, but man, this third boss is still really hard. He's just like a mechanical check and an HPS throughput thing, and if you miss a couple of the wax clears, like I think we missed a couple this round, you can fall behind so quickly. Link comes out, AMZ comes out, Darkness was used earlier, and you just have to do everything you can to help your healer and make sure you're trying to clear the wax as much as possible, because this boss requires so much healing, even after the nerfs, after the buffs/nerfs. And also make sure you maintain your kick rotation. It only takes 2 melee kicks to do it, but if you ever miss a kick, it's a wipe probably in a 13. I don't really think you could recover from that. You can see right here where 3 people get down to almost dead as the absorb goes out. Yeah, right there. But they are all alive, and we lose the warlock. But we're actually going to make it through, and we're going to clear up the boss and then move on towards the end with plenty of time left. And eventually we're on the Darkness, and I think our healer did every single candle, or almost every candle, letting our DPS just slam into him. We only 1+ this one, but we got 15 score, which took us to 3009. And with that, I actually received the amount in the mail. We are officially above 3000. We are a Keystone Legend, which was the goal of this series initially. I still will probably post videos from the Demon Hunter, but I'm actually going to be working on something else for retail. They've announced a lot of changes this season that I've not talked about really in the video. Things like Dinar, increasing the eye level on the hero and myth track. Dinar. I'm sure you've heard people talk about Dinar. There's been a lot of discussion about Dinar. Anyway, so I don't know exactly how I feel about continuing to play retail, but I did already have a plan for a video involving another tank spec that I plan to finish, and hopefully I can come up with some other cool ideas, and obviously keep posting videos as we push into higher keys, resilient 13s, maybe even touching some 14s. I don't know about touching any 15s, we'll have to see about that. But all in all, I think this was a really good week. And in the last moment of the week, we actually snagged a 13 mother load as well, which was great. I only had a 12, so that snagged me another 11 score and got me up to 3020, which is awesome. Alright, that's going to be it for this week. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.